There are those cameras that are so small that we don't expect them to do anything cinematic, and they definitely have the disadvantage of lower video quality. But some of them make shots possible that we couldn't get with our usual cameras. The Insta360 X3 is such a camera, so let's have a look at how you can use this little beast to get shots that actually make your videos better. If you follow my channel for a while, you know that I love to shoot time lapses. The Insta360 X3 is actually great for that because it lets you shoot 360-degree time lapses in 8K resolution, so you can crop more without sacrificing video quality. The 360-degree angle allows for pretty cool animations in post, which are not just a nice effect but also great for storytelling. For example, you can show time passing by while you perform a certain activity, like packing my bag. I was just shooting one time lapse here on that island on the road, and I found it amazing how it turned out. I used this 3-meter selfie stick, which is actually quite light, and the perspective is just amazing because it feels like you're in the middle of the road and then you see all the traffic driving around you. That's awesome. Now I'm shooting the next time lapse here, just seeing how it turns out. My plan is to move the camera up or down later, animating that in post. And it's actually quite impressive. While the quality is definitely not the same as shooting with my normal cameras, the perspectives that I can get with it for time lapses, it's truly awesome. I didn't expect that I would like it so much. To shoot time lapses with your X3 camera, just set it to time-lapse mode, select 8K, choose your frame rate and then set the interval according to your time lapse. 4 seconds works good most of the time, and 10 seconds or more is good if your time lapse will be very long. After shooting the time lapse, you can either use the Insta360 app on your phone or on your computer to animate it. It's pretty similar to working with normal video, just that you get the time lapse effect. Another way to use 360 cameras to make your videos better is seamless transitions. The fact that you capture a 360-degree field of view means that you have full flexibility to animate the video during the edit, what makes creating seamless transitions actually very easy. All you need to do is to capture 2 360 clips that have something in common. For example, here I captured 2 clips with a similar looking sky, but at different locations. So I can add an animation towards the sky in the first clip and start my animation from the sky in the second one. Now all I have to do is to add a simple crossfade transition during the edit, and the transition looks pretty seamless. So while capturing your footage, think about possibilities where you can match clips and film accordingly. We've already talked about time lapses in this tutorial, which look pretty cool, but you can also take time lapses to the next level by shooting moving time lapses, which are also called hyperlapses. To do that, all you have to do is to switch your X3 to time shift mode. That basically captures a video but speeds it up automatically. For short hyperlapses, I would recommend to use the standard video mode though, and then speed it up by using the time shift mode in the app later. So for this specific time lapse, I use deep track at first to track the face of one of those 3 kings for a nice animation, and after that I speed it up using the time shift functionality to get this hyperlapse effect. Important when shooting your hyperlapses is that you do it intentionally to actually better your videos. So instead of just walking randomly around, hyperlapsing everything, ask yourself, what's the point of each hyperlapse? You can, for example, use the hyperlapse to move towards a certain subject. You can center the hyperlapse around a certain subject by walking around it while filming, or you can use the hyperlapse to transition from one place to another. But even when doing that, you or your vehicle of choice should ideally be visible to give it a point. The beauty of hyperlapses with 360 cameras is that the stabilization is insane. If you do it with your normal camera, the results would still not be as smooth as with 360 cameras because of that wide field of view, what allows for more stabilization. But to make your hyperlapses really stand out, I would also recommend to add some motion blur while editing your hyperlapses in the Insta360 app, because that makes it look a lot more like it was shot on a professional camera. So far we've only talked about using your Insta360 X3 for kind of special effect shots. But the 360 functionality and 2 cameras in one also allow you to shoot multiple perspectives at the same time, what can be great to tell better stories. A good example is that I can at the same time film myself but also what I see. I like to use these two shots often in my travel videos because filming myself and then showing a POV perspective of what I see usually works pretty good. That works especially good when I'm shooting videos while I'm riding my motorcycle, because I can film myself on the bike and the view that I have while I'm driving at the same time. With the GoPro I would always have to turn the camera around. 360 cameras are also a bit better for that because of the wider field of view. Even the GoPro Hero 11 was a bit too narrow for that in my opinion. Another way, and actually a very good one, of using your Insta360 One X3 to make your videos more cinematic is to capture new and interesting angles. The camera is quite small, you have a big screen to judge your framing, and a super wide angle to shoot perspectives that wouldn't be possible with other cameras. So be creative whenever you see something where you can put your X3 that could give a unique angle, or maybe you can mount it somewhere. Try it out. It won't always look good or as expected, but oftentimes you will get very interesting results that will make people question how you shot it. And let's also quickly go through the settings that I use when I shoot my videos with the Insta360 One X3, because obviously you want to get the best quality possible, but I actually keep it quite simple. I'd say the most important settings overall are when you swipe from the top to the bottom and then you press the settings icon, and there you find the menu points video bitrate. You should set that to high because that gives you a better quality overall. Then the video sharpness, I would always set that to low because even at low setting it already feels way too sharp, like digitally sharp and not sharp in a good way. And the rest here I actually just leave it like it is, but these settings are very important. And when you're back on that normal camera screen, you should also swipe from the right to the left, because there you have a few more options which you don't always need, but sometimes. First, you can set your picture profile there from standard to lock and vivid. And there, from my experience, I would always use standard because vivid makes it a little bit too contrasty, so you don't have much dynamic range anymore. And lock, I feel like for a camera like that, it's a little bit too much details or information squeezed into this one file, so you might have some issues later color grading it actually. And aside from that, what you also have there is the white balance and EV compensation. I usually leave it also as it is, but sometimes, especially if you shoot against the sun or so, it makes sense to set the EV a little bit lower to -0.5 or -1, because that preserves a little bit more detail in your highlights then. You can also set the white balance. If it's all the time sunny, then just set it to 5600. And if it's cloudy all day, then set it to 6500. But if it's changing all the time, then I would just leave it to automatic, because then it's usually quite good actually. And that's it for the settings on the One X3. There's a little bit more that you can do in the app as well. I would definitely activate the noise reduction in the Insta360 app. And if you want to, you can also turn the color boost on there. I personally don't do that, but if you don't want to do much color grading, then that can help you a little bit. And when you export your video files from the Insta360 app, you can also choose ProRes there, which, like, in theory should give you a little bit more quality, but in reality the quality can't get better than it comes from your camera, and the camera doesn't shoot ProRes, so it doesn't actually make your videos look better, but it preserves all the quality you have, and the files that are a bit easier to edit. It's especially good if you edit on a slower computer. Okay, so much about the Insta360 One X3 and how to make your videos better with it. If you also have some tips for it, then let me know in the comments below. Didn't shoot 360 that much in the past because I dropped my X2 in the ocean once, unfortunately, so I couldn't get too deep into that, but in the upcoming weeks and months I will definitely do more with this thing. So I hope this video was helpful. If yes, then please leave me a thumbs up and also consider subscribing for upcoming videos. See ya!